Alright, what's going on everybody? My name is Steven Aldaco, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 5 books to inspire your next adventure. Let's get into it. The Alchemist is a story that follows a young shepherd boy named Santiago. Santiago is a very simple boy. He's been a shepherd his whole life and he's lived his entire life in Spain. One night he has a dream that he travels to the pyramids in Egypt and he believes that he's going to find a treasure there. So he sells his sheep and leaves his old life behind to discover a new life of adventure. And throughout his journey he comes across all sorts of mishaps. And one of the underlying themes about this book is to follow your own personal legend. So sometimes things aren't going to work out the way they're meant to work out, or they work out in unusual ways. But as long as you follow your intuition, you follow your dreams, everything will be all right. That's an important lesson to learn, especially if you're living a life on the road or as a vagabond or a digital nomad. And I think this book has a lot of great lessons, even though it's a fictional tale. And that's why this book makes it onto this list of the top 5 books to inspire your next adventure. The next book on our list is Jupiter's Travels. This book is written by Ted Simon and it follows his real life journey from Britain all across the world, through Africa, through South America, through the United States, through the East Asian countries, through India, all the way back to Europe. And he does this all on his 1970s Triumph. And simply traveling on a motorcycle back then had its own problems. Bikes weren't as reliable as they are today. He also had all sorts of troubles at border crossings. His bike would break down, and it's just an incredible story. So if you're out there and you're inspiring to travel the world by motorcycle or by the road for a long period of time, or even just on foot, this is an absolute great read to give you an idea what it's like to travel through all those countries all across the world. Definitely, highly recommend this book. The next book on our list is called Touching the Void, and this one is by Joe Simpson, and it follows his real life journey to summit the top of the Suila Grande in the Peruvian Andes, and he does this with his climbing partner Simon Yates. Unfortunately for them, they never made it to the peak of this mountain because the weather turned on them, and during their descent in the poor weather, Joe Simpson had a fall which caused him to break his leg. And when you break your leg at high altitude, there's really not much your partner can do to help save you. So Simon Yates actually did make the decision to attempt to help his climbing partner. Unfortunately, during their descent down, Joe Simpson was hanging off of a crevasse and Simon Yates had to cut the rope to attach the two of them, causing Joe Simpson to fall to his assumed death. Miraculously, Joe Simpson did not die during that fall, and he hobbled his way back to base camp and was able to live to tell the tale. I think this is a great cautionary tale for those of you who are inspiring to do these big altitude hikes, and there's a lot of lessons about the human spirit and how tough and strong we can be when we're forced into it. So this is another one of those great reads. Add it to your reading list or get it on Audible using the link down below. I hope you guys are enjoying this video so far. If you are, make sure to give it a thumbs up so more people who are searching for this information can find it, and it also helps support this channel and helps it grow. I don't know how long it takes for a book to become a classic, but Into the Wild definitely falls into the classic territory for me, and this book follows the true story of Chris McCandless, also known as Alex Supertramp, who is a pretty well-off young man, an intelligent young man, who has very wealthy parents, and he decides to leave it all, burn his money, leave his car to travel and discover himself in the Alaskan wilderness. One of the key takeaways of this book for me was that sometimes you need to break away of what society says you have to do to discover yourself, and that's what Alex did by moving into the Alaskan wilderness. Unfortunately, Alex passed away in the Alaskan wilderness, mistaking an edible plant for a poisonous one. But after reading this book, you kind of get a clearer idea of what true freedom really is and how little you need to achieve this true freedom. Let's continue on with the next book on our list, Into Thin Air, again by John Krakauer. So John Krakauer is writing a magazine article for Outside Magazine. So he has Rob Hall as his expedition guide on his trip up to Mount Everest. And if you didn't know, there's a lot of companies which will take you to the top of Mount Everest as long as you have the money to pay, which means there's a lot of inexperienced climbers who attempt this climb. And the way those companies have a good reputation is by the number of people they actually make it to the top of this mountain. So during this particular expedition, Rob Hall set a cutoff time. If they were not at the peak at this certain time, they were meant to turn back so they can stay safe And during this expedition, Rob Hall decided to go just past that cutoff time, which caused to the death of quite a few of those climbers on that expedition. So in this book, they talk a lot about the realities of climbing Mount Everest and also start to question some of the morality and some of the ethics of climbing Mount Everest. And this is going to be another really great read for those of you who are inspiring to maybe climb Mount Everest or do some more high altitude peaks. This is definitely going to be one of those books to add onto your list, and you might be second guessing yourself after reading these books for sure. If you are someone like me who spends a lot of time in their vehicle or a lot of time on the road, a great way to consume these books is via an audiobook. And down below in the description, I have a link to Audible where you can find all of these books. That is an affiliate link, so make sure to use that to help support and grow this channel. Alright everybody, well that about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this brief overview of the top 5 books to inspire your next adventure. If you did and you found it helpful and informative, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can see more content like this. And you guys take care, happy hiking, and we'll see you next time.